Hey everyone, it's RoadToRetire, the channel where I try to retire early and I talk about the side hustles that I do to attempt to retire early, personal finance investing, and my personal lifestyle choices. If that kind of stuff interests you, subscribe and see the rest of my journey. So we are talking about the three channels, the three investing and personal finance channels that I personally think are the best and my favorite for the type of investing and personal finance content that I love. So without delay, let's get right into it. The first channel is definitely more geared towards personal finance versus investing, although they do have generic investing advice. This is the Money Guy Show, and these two, Bo Hansen and Brian, I'm spacing on his name right now, but they are financial advisors and they both have CPAs, and I believe Bo is even a CFA, Chartered Financial Accountant, which is a very difficult designation to get. Nonetheless, they are my favorite personal finance channel. In my opinion, they are the better version of Dave Ramsey, and they are the more useful version of Caleb Hammer, whose show has just gone to complete shit, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, the Money Guy Show has their own specialized version of Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps, and their version, which is, in my opinion, way superior, is the Financial Order of Operations, which is like 9 steps, tried and true, as they like to say, what to do with your next dollar. So it's like step 1 is like cover your highest deductible for your insurance cost. Step 2 is employer match. Step 3 is high interest step. Nonetheless, you go through all 9 steps. And when you're done with one step, you go on to the next with what you should do with your next dollar. They have a ton of content. It is very useful. It's one of those channels that I love to have on the background on walks, if I'm on the treadmill or I'm outside walking. And I just like to constantly reiterate my brain with personal finance stuff that is best utilized in this life in America. So the Money Guy Show, definitely my favorite, like personal finance and where to put your next dollar type of channel, even though I personally have a much different approach to it because of my attempting at retiring early with my medical condition. But nonetheless, if you are a general member of FIRE and you plan to live to 80 to 90 years old, unlike me, then this is still a great resource to use. There you have a lot of content around the FIRE movement, the positives around it, and why you should do it even if you're not in the FIRE movement. So Money Guy Show, definitely one of my top 3. My second favorite to talk about on this video is Ben Felix, the man who tricked everyone thinking that he was bald when he actually has a beautiful head of hair in there. But anyway, Ben Felix, 100% investing channel, and everything that he says is backed up by so much data. And it's one of those channels where it's like, if you kind of disagree with him in terms of like North American investing, because he's Canadian based and I'm US based, but he talks about both markets very frequently. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you disagree with him and disagree with his approach, you're pretty much just wrong. And the evidence that he uses to back up, which is just papers and papers and research papers, and he shows the research papers and he shows the person responsible for who wrote them and the theory behind them and blah blah blah. He backs up every single thing that he says. He is also a financial advisor, but his portfolio advice is very simple. It's common sense investing, as his podcast is titled very appropriately. And I pretty much tailor my retirement, my 401k portfolio, not my early retirement stuff, but my 401k portfolio is pretty much based around everything that Ben Felix preaches. Low cost index funds with broad diversification across global markets. That is what I picked up from Ben Felix, and he puts out amazing content that is always backed up by data and stuff that, if you want to take your investing knowledge to like the advanced degree, then Ben Felix is the person for you. Even if you're just starting out and you don't really understand the need for global diversification and why diversifying beyond just the US, since it's been a powerhouse, is important. He's also a great resource, but if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of the stock market and investing and long-term investing and why diversification is better and why dividends are irrelevant, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, then Ben Felix is the absolute perfect channel for you. Last but definitely not least is a man who has less than half my subscribers, but should honestly have double. This is Income Architect, and he is a great resource for what I kind of tailor my personal dividend portfolio towards. Now, he is currently retired, and he is giving you all of the math is math logic behind his dividend and distribution portfolio that he is using himself in retirement. He shows his entire portfolio, his layout, and what he is currently investing in, what he's dropping. Nonetheless, this is like the only YouTube channel where I actually like seeing what a person is trading on an more active basis. I'm considering myself a somewhat passive investor until it comes to my personal income and dividend portfolio investing. He does a great job doing the explanations. Math is math. I know he's a big believer in Stephen Bavaria, the Income Factory, and basically he uses all sorts of different income type investments such as covered call ETFs, which I love and I'll do a video of later, but covered called ETFs and funds. He does BDCs, business development companies. There's a couple REITs in there. He does alternatives like Bitcoin funds. He does cover all of these, and he does great videos on stuff that he doesn't even invest, like the yield max stuff. He was definitely the one that encouraged me to never ever invest in yield max, and I would encourage you, if you're curious about investing in the yield max because you want to chase those high yields, watch a couple videos from Income Architect. He breaks it down beautifully, and he gives you better alternatives if you want to go the high yield route. Nonetheless, he also has the smart logic of, if you're going to go the higher yield route, that he abides by the 8% rule. It means he just wants to get his 8% yield. And even if something is yielding 20%, he will take that additional 12 from the 20, keep his 8, and then reinvest into the fund, because you are going to have more NAV erosion. But theoretically, 12% that you are taking additionally on top and reinvesting it back into the fund should kind of net itself out, where you are staying afloat in the fund, still getting your 8%, and you are not going bankrupt because you are reinvesting into a somewhat declining NAV asset. So that is definitely my third favorite channel that I watch on a regular basis. So shout out to Income Architect. Hopefully this gets you a few more subscribers, because you deserve way more than the 8K that you're currently sitting at. Hope you enjoyed this video, my 3 favorite investing and personal finance channels. Let me know if you watch any of these 3, and subscribe and like the video, and I'll see everyone in the next one.